My name is Zach, and I'm autistic. I wasn't diagnosed until I turned 37, but in retrospect, the time that I printed out all 445 pages of the Ken Starr report and then read it in a single afternoon when I was in middle school, maybe should have been some sort of a clue. Autism ends out explaining kind of a lot about my life, like the time that I spent 6 years trying to be someone else. Let's start with my high school prom. It's the year 2000, and the gym is rumbling with teenage energy and those adorable rented tuxedos. The air smells like Domino's pizza and gas station cologne. And everywhere you look around you, you see all the kids in circles dancing together like they're synchronized swimmers. The DJ spinning the beats, and right now he is playing the hottest song of the year 2000, asking the question that we all needed asked at the turn of a new millennium. Who let the dogs out? Now, look over the DJ's shoulder in the shadow by the punch bowl. That's where you're going to find me, standing, watching this writhing mass of teenage energy, like Jane Goodall studying her chimps. How do they know which circles to join and which ones to leave? What is the social hierarchy of this assembly? Is that a dominance or a mating display? What you've got to remember is I'm still 20 years away from being diagnosed with autism. As a kid, I just think I'm bad at being a person, that I don't get how the world works. I don't understand how people know what to do when they interact. It's like that moment from a movie, right, where somebody says something, and then a record scratches, and then everybody stops and turns and stares. I have done that in my real life more times than I can count. Growing up, it felt like everybody else got like a detailed textbook for how to behave, and I got a pamphlet from IKEA that just featured Outline Man holding a pencil and kind of shrugging at me. As a kid, I kind of thought that I was going to be okay because I had read The Ugly Duckling. And The Ugly Duckling told me that the awkward youth would grow up to become a graceful swan. It wasn't until I turned 30 years old that I realized Disney had fucking lied to me. I wasn't gonna grow out of it. If I wanted to be able to engage with people and not have them look at me like I had three heads, I was gonna need to solve this problem. And so I set out to solve the problem the way I solve problems. I made a plan. I made a plan to become a normal person. Step one of my plan, drinking. I noticed that all of the ordinary business owners around me drank. And they didn't just drink, they had strong opinions about drinking, especially whiskey. And so I set out to become a whiskey person. I learned the difference between oaky and peaty, between scotch and bourbon, a long finish and a citrus twist. I don't half-ass anything. So I got on a plane to London, took a train to Scotland to go to the Highland Park Distillery and spend a day tasting in their whiskey room. Step two of my plan, get a normal girlfriend. Yeah, I found her at a friend's birthday party. Her name was Natalie, and she was a doctor. She had 2 cats, maxed out retirement savings, and a good job. Perfect. Even better, Natalie lived the kind of normal life that I wanted. She was popular, she was social, she was attractive, she was funny. She enjoyed being the center of attention at a party. Natalie and I started dating, and she agreed to help me with my project to become a more normal person. Early in our relationship, we were getting ready for an event, and I put on a pink polo shirt. And Natalie looked at me, and she said, "Zach, men don't wear pink," which is when I first learned about the official uniform of normal man. Blue shirt, khaki pants. For years, it looked like I got all of my fashion advice by asking a mannequin at the Banana Republic. Another time, Natalie and I got back into the car after an event, and I could tell that she was upset, and I said, "Hey, baby, what's wrong?" And she said, "Zach, it's your laugh. it's too loud and it's too high-pitched. And so I worked on moderating my laugh, trying to make it more of a baritone chuckle, ha 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 ha, like how men do. Every correction that she gave me became another entry in my guidebook for how to be a normal person. How to sit, how to stand, what opinions to have, what to order, when to laugh, when not to. And with years of practice, I got pretty good at it. I got good enough that I could pass for normal. I stopped having those record scratch moments. Now, there is only one problem with a plan to fundamentally change your entire personality. You can't do that. Every day of waking up in that normal life, I felt like my skin was 3 sizes too small and made out of sandpaper. Now, I am tough. I can push through just about anything. And I played by the rules of normal life for 6 years. But I have limits. And the crushing weight of all of that normalcy, of watching my every word and gesture to ensure social acceptability, of pretending to enjoy whiskey, a drink that tastes like campfires and regret. Living that life crushed my soul. Do you want to know what finally shattered my carefully crafted normal person facade? A $12 bottle of nail polish. That's it. My rock bottom isn't drug addiction or divorce or bankruptcy. My rock bottom is the buy now button with nail polish in the cart. Pink with sparkles. So there I was, late at night, sitting in my office, staring at the buy now button like it was a detonator. I was telling myself, you just need to let a little bit of weird out. Nobody has to know. But I think I knew that I was lying. I think I knew this wasn't going to be just one little thing. This was going to be the beginning of everything. This was about me finally learning my lesson. That the only thing harder than being myself was trying to be someone else. I clicked the button. I painted my nails. I held them up to the light, and I felt like me. Pink nails led to pink shirts going back in my wardrobe. Pink shirts back in my wardrobe ended my relationship with Natalie. Natalie moving out gave me a chance to redecorate my house, which I did in this brilliant, golden, blinging Hollywood Regency style. I wanted my outside to look as good as my inside, and so I hired a renowned local fashion designer to make me these extraordinary outfits. Yes, I am wearing Adam Arnold. Thank you so much for noticing. And somewhere along the way, I got diagnosed with autism. And I learned there's nothing wrong with the way that I think. I just think differently than most people. That's great. I had a real light bulb moment when I was figuring out how I wanted to share this story with all of you today. In the early versions of this story, I was telling it as an us versus them. Me, the kid hiding by the punch bowl, versus the cool kids dancing in the circles. And I told that version to a friend of mine, and she said, "Zach, stop. I was one of the cool kids dancing in the circle, and I was just as worried about fitting in as you were." It was a moment when something changed for me because I suddenly saw there is no us and there is no them. Instead, all of us have weird parts that we are trying to hide, and all of us are worried about fitting in. So, here's what I want to tell you with 6 years of honest, earned wisdom. It's not worth it. It was never worth watering down my personality to try to be more socially acceptable to more people. The funny thing is, I still have those record scratch moments, but they don't bother me anymore. because I understand now that they are just a part of my humanity. And today, the kid who used to hide by the punch bowl, who could count the number of true friends they had on one hand with a few fingers left over, today, my Sunday table overflows with love and laughter and community. I love you all so much. Now, please, go out from here and be gloriously and unapologetically yourselves. Thank you.